Richard Tang, CEO of Binance, thank you so much for being with us on CNN Business Arabic. So first, I want to start by asking you, you've received many local licenses in different countries, but ADGM approved Binance.com itself, the global platform. What does this allow you to do now that you couldn't do in the past? And also, what made Abu Dhabi's regulatory framework the right foundation for Binance?
Oh, thank you so much. It's great to be here. So we are very proud and excited to achieve another first in terms of the regulatory space. So we are the first global exchange to receive a comprehensive approval from a well-respected regulator, the Financial Services Regulatory Authority from ADGM, right? So ADGM will regulate us across the full spectrum of our activities, including our global liquidity on that front through 3 distinct regulated entities. And this really demonstrate our commitment to build the most trusted, most transparent, and most compliant exchange. What this means is really we will continue to allow us to open the footprint. As you know, ADGM is a globally known and respected regulator in that sense, with great connectivity and regulatory cooperation throughout the different parts of the world, from the east to the west. And it allows us to be subject to their regulatory scrutiny, upholding ourselves to the highest standards in terms of governance, compliance, investment protection, as well as risk management, right?
So Richard, ADGM is known for being heavily regulated. What internal reform, governance, compliance, risk control did Binance have to do?
Well, to secure the license, we went through a very tedious process, right? In terms of working very closely to provide ADGM insights. We had held many different workshops to give them insights into our full operations on the different areas, right? So from operations to our listing, to our custody, wallet management. So in some parts, as with all things, there'll be some uplifting required, but rules and regulations are always evolving and compliance is always evolving. So it's a continuous journey. And we make heavy investments into the compliance area. So today, if you look at our compliance account, it stands at close to 1,300 staff globally, accounting for 22% of our global workforce. So it shows our very heavy commitment into the area of compliance and governance.
Does this licensing open the door for smoother licensing in other countries, for example, the US, the EU, or the UK even?
Well, so headquarters is a very physical and a pretty archaic concept by now, right? So, but what these licenses that license us on a global basis have is really to give regulatory clarity, which is much more important in the regulated financial space, right? So global regulators will know that we are regulated by the ADGM on that front. And that regulatory clarity and us upholding that very high standards in the different areas will allow us to engage regulators across the globe much more effectively. Also global partners, right? Be it banks, payment partners, allows for closer cooperation, integration, and engagement going forward.
So you spoke about institutional capital. Usually institutional capital is very cautious when it comes to unregulated crypto platforms in general. Does operating under ADGM finally unlock the institutional market at a scale?
Absolutely. So if you look at financial institutions in general, you'll be looking for a well-regulated platform to engage with. We see a huge institutional wave in 2024 and 2025 with a lot of institutions, corporate family office coming into this. By upholding ourselves to the very high standards of trust, of transparency, of the most regulated platform globally. Before the ADGM platform, we already regulated in 21 different jurisdictions on a local basis. This represents our global effort to have our global operations on an end-to-end basis, as well as a global liquidity regulator. And I think that signifies a lot of commitment on our front.
You now have the governance structure that traditional financial markets usually require. Does this open the door for an IPO?
Well, I think what we focus to do as an entity is to always build the best-in-class platform for our users in terms of product features, in terms of security, transparency, compliance on that front. And that's what we continue to do. Today, actually, we make another important announcement. We have reached 300 million customers globally, which is an important threshold as well. And we're very grateful to our global customers and users for their confidence and trust for us. So that's our focus, right? On IPO issue, I think those are issues that will need to be discussed and deliberated by what our directors with shareholders on that front. Well, I think, again, I go back, our focus is to build the best-in-class platform for users.
So, Richard, finally, what does this licensing mean for users in the UAE and across the world?
Well, traders, users across the globe can expect that we'll be subject to the regulatory scrutiny of a well-respected regulator, and we uphold that gold standards in the different categories of governance, compliance, risk management. We are always working with global partners on that front, so we are going to make it much easier. We're bringing about the convergence of Web 2 and Web 3 space, and we're working with global institutions with the likes of Franklin Templeton and BlackRock. And with this global license, we look forward to much more partnership on that.
Richard, thank you so much for being with us on CNN Business Arabic.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.